Hello, thanks for checking in again on another fragrance review. This is going to be another comparison video between Cartier's Declaration de Soir and Moschino's Toy Boy. So as you can see, I don't have a full bottle, but I've got a little 5 ml decant, which I'm glad I got instead of buying a full bottle. Both of these are very rose dominant fragrances, which is why I'm comparing the two. And I think that um, if you had to line them up in the middle, as far as unisex goes, Declaration de Soir is going to lean a little bit more of a, excuse me, more masculine rose, and Toy Boy is going to lean a little bit more feminine. It's going to be a little bit more floral than Declaration de Soir. So, just a little bit of notes about both of them. Toy Boy was released last year, 2019. It was headed by the design director of Moschino, Jeremy Scott. It doesn't list him as the perfumier, but it does mention his name. So he probably had some type of impact on the, or oversight on the fragrance. Versus Declaration de Soir was released in 2012, and the perfumier is Jean Claude Elena. So Jean Claude Elena has a kind of this reputation for producing really transparent, airy, but still somewhat like complex and just really pleasant smelling fragrances. Uh, so, why Toy Boy? I guess because it's being hyped right now. It was talked about quite a bit over the last, I guess, month or two, and I was curious about it, so I got a decant, and it's good for what it is, but I don't really like florally rose too much, so I think it's good, but for me to have and own both, at least full bottles, it wouldn't make sense for me because I would choose Declaration du Soir every time. So I want to go over kind of the differences, the notes. So I'll go over each note breakdown, and so you can kind of see how similar they are. So for Toy Boy, top is green pear, pink pepper, nutmeg, and then a note called elemi. The mid or heart is going to be magnolia, rose absolute, clove, and flex flower. And the base is Haitian vetiver, cashmere, sandalwood, musk, and ambermax. So compare those to Declaration de Soir, which was released 7 years prior. It's got it doesn't have it listed as a pyramid. It just has notes, and it has rose, cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, and just a general woody notes. So, as you can see, there's carryover from rose, of course, woody notes, pepper, and just it has they both have sandalwood as well. So the way that Toy Boy opens is going to be a little bit sweeter, more dense, definitely more floral, rose dominant, and it's almost got this kind of like dirtier scent, almost like wet paint, and you do get a hit of alcohol that you'll get sometimes, but it burns off relatively quickly in a couple of seconds, and you get that pear. The pear is where I'm guessing is where that sweetness is coming from. As it starts to dry down after a couple of minutes, the spices start to come up, and you do get that kind of like clove and what to me kind of smells like almost like anise or like a licorice scent, which is really pleasant. Definitely, not offensive, but as it starts to settle, the sweetness kicks in a little bit more, at least off my skin, and it projects really well. I was sitting maybe 6 feet, 8 feet across the room, and my fiance said she could smell it. She's not the biggest fan of the scent. Kind of said it smelled a little bit too feminine for her, which like I said, I tend to agree. But as far as performance goes, no complaints. I mean, it projected very well. Obviously, several feet out, a couple yards or meters away, and it lasted a good 10 hours. Plenty of longevity. Sillage was great too, so no complaints in any of those departments. For a $75 fragrance for 100 mil, I mean, you can't really beat that as far as performance goes. Like I said, not my particular cup of tea. A little bit too floral for me. And Declaration de Soir is much more up my alley. I don't really like rose in general. It's not one of my favorite notes, but I do enjoy how Jean Claude Elena did this rose, which is like kind of a green, crisp, watery, almost cucumbery rose, and it's really nice. So the opening, in comparison to Toy Boy, is crisp and clean, uh, almost fresh, and versus kind of like that sweeter, kind of dirtier opening that you get, or that at least I got from Toy Boy. And you get hit with the rose, and then you get a little bit of the cedar, and the sandalwood comes in, I guess from the woody notes that they just call it, and it kind of stays the same. It doesn't really have as much uh, of a transition states as Toy Boy, so it's a little bit linear, but that works for me, and it doesn't perform nearly as well as Toy Boy. So if you're someone who's looking for, this beast mode fragrance, and you want to be smelled across the room, certainly not it. It's much more of a close encounters, a foot or two little scent bubble around you, but really professional. You could go casual with it, nice, polo or t-shirt, shorts, khakis, whatever, or even dress it up. If you wanted to wear something a little bit more business casual, you could do that as well. I think that because of the lack of performance, it definitely wouldn't be suited for something in the winter. Spring, summer, all day. Fall, winter, not so much, but depends, what you like. Sometimes I know people like to wear something a little bit lighter to kind of break up their days of all the spicy fragrances from the fall and winter. Toy Boy, I'd probably, say spring, fall, winter, and stay away from summer just because of the sweetness. And I think that it might get a little bit cloying in high heat and humidity. Um, I'll be able to test it out, I guess, later this summer. But again, probably won't be wearing too much of it. It's just, or maybe around the house, but it's worth a try. I definitely think, like I said, for $75 for 100 ml of Toy Boy, great value, good scent. Just be wary of how much rose is in there, and if you don't like floral rose, stay away. If you want to try something with a little bit of a different take on rose, a little bit more airy and transparent, Declaration de Soir is the ticket. I think that for $40, give or take $5 on different discounters, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a better fragrance and a better produced scent than this. Bang for your buck is outrageous. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for checking in. Expect more videos to come out soon. Thank you.